Dear sisters and brothers in Jesus Christ, join me in reflecting the Gospel of the 13th Sunday in Ordinary Time in Year B. We are reflecting from the Gospel of Mark chapter 5 verses 21 to 43. Mark narrates two stories in this passage. The first one is about the synagogue official Jairus. He is a prominent man in the Jewish society, but he is in extreme need now. His 12-year-old daughter is dying. Nobody could help her. Finally, Jairus goes to Jesus and he tells to Jesus, "My daughter is at the point of death. Please come lay your hands on her that she may get well and live." Jesus went with this synagogue official, and a large crowd followed them. And on their way, Mark narrates another story, a story within this story. Here, a woman who had hemorrhage for 12 years, she approaches Jesus. She also suffered a lot. She spent all her money to different doctors, but nobody could help her. And finally, she believed that if she can touch on the clothes of Jesus, she can get healed. Thus she came from behind and touched on the clothes of Jesus. Immediately she felt that something happened in her body, that she felt that she's being healed. And Jesus realized immediately that the energy is gone from him, and he turned back, and there's a large crowd, the disciples, everybody is pressing him. So he asked, "Who has touched me?" This woman did not hesitate to come forward. Although she was afraid, she came forward and acknowledged what she did. And Jesus told her, "Daughter, your faith has saved you. Go in peace and be cured of your affliction." And while Jesus was talking to this woman, came people from the synagogue official's house, and they said, "Your daughter has died. Why trouble the teacher any longer?" But Jesus ignored these messages, and he assured Jairus, the synagogue official, and told him, "Do not be afraid, just have faith." And he did not allow this crowd to accompany. He took only Peter, James, and John, and the brother of James, with this synagogue official. And when they arrived at the house of the synagogue official, he caught sight of a commotion, people weeping and wailing loudly. So Jesus went in and said to them, "Why this commotion and weeping? The child is not dead, but asleep." So the people ridiculed him, and Jesus took along with him the father and the mother and entered into the room where the child was laying. And Jesus took the hand of the child and said, "Talitha cum," which means, "Little girl, I say to you, arise." The girl immediately arose and walked around. So they all astounded. They could not believe what they saw. And Jesus gave strict orders that no one should know this, and said that she should be given something to eat. Jesus cared for that child. Why Jesus tells them no one should know about it? In Mark, we find this often, that is called a messianic secret. that people should not know at this moment that Jesus is the Messiah. Now we find here in this gospel two stories. There are a lot of things that we can observe that contrast. One is a man who is in extreme need, another is a woman. One is a prominent man, he is a synagogue official, a rich man. The other is a woman who has spent all her money to doctors and she has nothing. And she is also a woman who is impure, cannot approach publicly to Jesus. She, according to the Jewish law, she is impure and cannot touch other people and should be excluded from the society. So she suffered a lot. The third contrast, that one, the synagogue official approaches Jesus publicly. The other, this woman with hemorrhage, approaches Jesus secretly. The similarity that we can find here is that both have strong faith in Jesus. They believed that Jesus can heal them. Although the woman is not dead, she was being segregated, excluded from the society due to her hemorrhage. The synagogue official's daughter already died. In both cases, both of them are impure, that Jesus cannot touch them. But Jesus touches them and gives them life. Jesus gives them healing and life. Dear friends, we find in this gospel the strong faith of the synagogue official Jairus and the woman afflicted by hemorrhage. And they believed, and in God's time, Jesus healed them. He gave them life. We too have often similar experiences of sickness or many other difficulties. The gospel passage of this 13th Sunday teaches us to have strong faith in Jesus. He can heal us. He can help us in our difficulties. God bless.